What's up, everybody? Let's get those fantasy lineups right as much as you can. Welcome to the SI Fantasy Dirt Podcast live stream for the week of week 17. It's championship week for most of us, and there have already been a ton of games. So hopefully you're not in too deep a hole, and this is still relevant information. Last night killed me, Fabs. Last night killed me. Cup and Connor. And yes, by the way, I did go back to the well with Cup. I figured 3 games, if you've gone 0-5, the probability tells you that he's probably going to put up 20 points. I was like, I'm going to keep sticking with him because the second I pivot off is when he's going to go crazy. That did not happen. I was not rewarded for my faith. And James Conner obviously burned a lot of people, not just me, but
Yeah, there was risk with Connor because he had gone in with a knee injury, then he aggravated it and didn't play. Cooper Kupp, I mean, boy, the last 3 games, I mean, if you had him, you probably didn't even reach the fantasy championship week because he had been that bad. But I mean, this week has been awful. Like, if you think about it, right? And now, number one, I got to be honest with you, I love pro football. My God, I don't need games every freaking day. It's insane.
I enjoy that.
Beginning of the week, Joe Mixon killed you. Nico Collins killed you. All right. And then Najee Harris killed you. George Pickens. Like, it's just been a bill. Hunter Henry scored no points yesterday against his old team.
And he had averaged, was just like catch after catch after catch.
He had averaged like 10 points per game this year, and he didn't score a point yesterday. Ramondre Stevenson with that whole mess with the backfield in New England. And then you go to last night, you mentioned Cooper Kupp, bad game. James Conner gets hurt. And now we go into this day. It's fantasy championship week. We've already had a bunch of games played, like Lindsay just said. And you've got no Jalen Hurts, probably no Tua, no Chuba, no Pollard, no CD. I mean, it sucks. Like, what is a fantasy championship if you can't start Raheem Blackshear? And that's who I got to play in one of my leagues, for crying out loud. It stinks. It's very frustrating.
So, and I see that the start sit questions are already coming in fast and furious. People looking for upside because they're in the same situation that we are in. Normally at quarterback, one of the directions that we would push you in is Anthony Richardson. He's not active either. You mentioned Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa, who's doubtful, which means out. We don't have Chuba Hubbard. You talked about that. You mentioned Raheem Blackshear. Just really quickly, with regards to Chuba, how comfortable do you feel playing Raheem Blackshear? Where does he fit in?
Not comfortable at all. The Buccaneers have been the best defense in the league against running backs in the last, 2 months? I'm not comfortable at all. Now, Adam Schefter did say that he would start. Does that mean that he's going to get the majority of the carries? I don't know, because Mike Boone is also there. Right. They've got Felix Jones. I feel lousy about it. And then in another league, I feel better about this, but not confident. I'm starting Chigakonkwo. He said 2 games in a row, but still, I mean, Chigakonkwo, I don't know what the hell's going to go on with that. So Blackshear is legit. Like, I am desperate. I have nothing else, and I have to play him.
Yeah. Yep. I think that we have a somewhat similar situation presenting itself in New Orleans because Alvin Kamara is inactive against the Raiders, and all signs would typically point to Kendre Miller. But Nick Underhill, who's covered the team for a long time, said that this morning that he thinks that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to have a real role today.
Yeah, great.
So
wonderful.
If that's true, or just even with that information out there, what do you do with that situation?
I'm still playing Miller as a flex. I'm not playing Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I can't do it. I just can't do it. But Miller,
my concern is more whether or not Clyde Edwards-Helaire information impacts your ability to play Miller as a flex.
Yeah, but the problem is your roster may be so depleted that you have no choice. Yeah. That's the big problem. Like, I have to play Blackshear in a league. I have to play Okonkwo because I'm getting crushed with injuries.
Okay, question, either or in this situation, would you play Amir Abdullah or would you play either of those guys?
I play Miller over Abdullah and Abdullah over CEH.
I mean, I'm even including Raheem Blackshear because I think I'd play Amir Abdullah over all of these people.
I have Blackshear ranked ahead of Abdullah, but it's close, and I could see not starting him if you have Abdullah. Okay. It's an S. Like we might get some. It's a total S show.
Yeah, I feel like we might get some either ors about those guys. Tony Pollard inactive. So Tajay Spears is a playable asset. Tyrone Tracy is going to go for the Giants against the Colts. Let's see. Devontae Adams is active. No CeeDee Lamb. We already knew that. Tyreek Hill expected to play in the afternoon window.
Yeah, but can you play him? I mean, it's going to be Tyler Huntley. Yeah. Guys, do you remember how bad Tyreek Hill was earlier in the season? And it ain't like Tyreek Hill's been great either with Tua. Right. He's been better, but not great. I got to be honest with you.
They worked so hard at practice. They worked so hard at practice this week. They made such a big deal about, like, he was like, I need to practice. I can't take days off. I'm going to get that, like, get in sync with Tua and then put in all that work. And then Tua immediately leaves the field and it's for nothing.
Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, like, I play Adam Thielen over Tyreek Hill. There's a lot of wide receivers I'd play over Tyreek Hill today and tomorrow because Jonnu Smith, same thing. Like Jonnu Smith, boom, the guy's been awesome for a month and a half. And now Tyler Huntley's starting. Jeez Louise. We talk about, Lindsay, the players who are not going to play, but we also have to talk about the domino effect. And the only positive at quarterback is Joe Flacco for Josh Downs and Michael Pittman Jr. Everybody else is a downgrade, and everybody else is a player now that you can't start with confidence.
Yeah. Do you feel like you could start the Browns defense now going against the Dolphins?
Yes. I moved them up. This week. They're in the top 12. So if you're looking for a defense right now, you can certainly go out and pick them up and start them if needed. I still have the Dolphins up there at the top. The Dolphins still have something to play for, and their defense is still – Dorian Thompson-Robinson is not a starting quarterback in the National Football League. The Browns are tanking the hell out of the season. That they're not playing Jameis, not because he turns the ball over. It's because they don't want to win, and Jameis could help them win. So I love the Dolphins defense still in this situation.
By the way, with regards to Tyler Huntley, in the 3 games that he played for the Dolphins, the opposing defense was a top 12 defense every single time. Titans were defense 6, Patriots were defense 10, and the Colts were defense 11. None of these were huge blow-up games. I think even the Titans were like 12 points. So you're looking to get about probably like between 8 and 12 points in those 3 examples. And so I think that that's probably something that you can expect today. Okay, so with all of that said, let's get to the start sit questions. Doug is going to find the right ones behind the scenes and pop them up for us here. We're going to start with Judd on X, who needs Spears or Cook. Tajay Spears.
Hey, Judd. Yeah, I still would go with Cook, but it's close. I like Tajay Spears. Our pal James Roday had been texting me earlier today because he's got to go either Spears or Ridley, and he's a big Titans fan. I'd rather play Spears. No Pollard against the Jags, I'm in. But in this case, if you could play both, great, Judd. But I'd still rather go Cook. He's been dynamite for most of the year.
Cook's been good, better offense, all of those things. I would feel a lot more confident trusting the guy who got you here. Seth B, good morning to you. AJ Brown or Terry McLaurin? Woo, these are championship round questions.
Yeah, I know. You're not going to play both. I mean, I get it that, maybe it's a guillotine league, but I get it that, Kenny Pickett's the quarterback. But Kenny Pickett was the quarterback last week for most of that game, and A.J. Brown still had a good game. I would say this. I love McLaurin. I love him. He's my start of the week at wide receiver. The weather is a little concerning to me. If it's raining cats and dogs, that's going to obviously have a big effect on the passing game for both teams. All things being equal, I have McLaurin ranked higher.
Oh, sheesh. Not starting AJ Brown in the championship would be wild. By the way, keeping an eye on the comments section, and Rachel picked up on your celebrity name drop. Tabs. Jeremy wants to know if he should start. Always more to come, guys. Spears or Devontae Adams, half-point PPR. A lot of Spears.
Yeah, I know. And again, I wish, Jeremy, I wish you could play both, but I'm going to go Devontae Adams. I think that Rodgers is going to throw him the football. They're looking to get that 500th touchdown. And I know Rodgers would love for Adams to be the recipient of it. It is raining and crappy in Buffalo right now, so that might have a bit of a bit of an effect. But I'm going to go Devontae Adams. He's been too hot to sit.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you pick up on Ian Rappaport's report this morning that they're like trying to figure out what's going to happen with Garrett Wilson? Like if Aaron Rodgers comes back, does Garrett Wilson?
I know.
We'll save that conversation for a different day. Seth wants to know. Hi, Seth. Hey, Seth. Still Seth. Achane, Josh Jacobs, or Brees Hall, pick 2.
Yeah, I know Jacobs is a bad matchup. I don't care. He's too hot to sit. I'm not playing Brees Hall out of that group. HN should be the centerpiece of Miami's offense today. Should be.
And by the way, let that answer be a reminder to us next year when we are like, oh, this guy, he might be in a terrible offense, but first round anyway. Like the volatility attached to that is now we've seen the example several years in a row. Brees Hall with, well, more specifically with Garrett Wilson, right? It can affect you. Nevin, good morning. Opponent has Goff, Achane, Aaron Jones, Amon-Ra, and Kittle. He's already started chasing Mixon. Need one Mixon. Need one wide receiver out of, I'm guessing this is AJ Brown.
Yeah.
Okay. Josh Downs and Adam Thielen.
I'm gonna stick with AJ Brown.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with AJ Brown. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. That feels like a perfect example of like getting cute. Like to me, you have to go with the by far and away best guy. Also needs 2 running backs out of Josh Jacobs, Rashad White, Bucky Irving, and Tyrone Tracy. It's standard.
Yeah, Jacobson, Bucky Irving. Jeff Darlington was on this morning on ESPN, and he said that Bucky Irving's going to get a ton of carries today. So, yeah,
what's that about? I wonder. Why?
Oh no,
why would he say that?
What
do you do with Rashad White then? If you hear that, like, how seriously do you take that report in terms of whether you take, do you take Rashad out if you have Rashad in? Like, what are you doing with that?
It depends on your depth, obviously, but I mean, so many people are hurting right now at running back. I'd probably stick with them.
Craig wants to know if you should start Achane or Bucky.
Ooh, see, this one's close because I really do like Bucky. Achane's hard to bench. I'm surprised you actually couldn't play both players. I have Achane ranked slightly higher than Bucky Irving this week.
So sadly, love Achane. I would go Bucky here. Achane falls off a cliff when Tua's not the quarterback. He has earlier this year, like, not good. Not good at all.
Yeah.
I don't like this.
I can
for so many of the Dolphins' assets, and unfortunately, Achane is one of them.
Yeah,
which is just terrible, terrible timing. Cleveland or Vegas? Which defense?
Cleveland.
Okay.
Wait, let me double check. I got to check the ring. They're very close. Yeah.
Raiders versus
Cleveland.
Saints.
Yeah, Cleveland.
Okay, and then one more here. We're going Kincaid or Chig.
Chig. I'm going Chig.
Yep. It's Chig.
Yeah, I'm going Chiggy. I'm getting Chiggy with it.
Anthony wants to know if you should start Thielen or Garindo.
If it's PPR, which I'm assuming it probably is, I don't mind going Thielen this week against Tampa Bay, especially with Lee get banged up. I don't know what I'm going to get out of the Niners. I just have no idea. So I'd rather go Thielen, and I'm going to go Shakir over McMillan.
And here's the thing about the Garindo thing and the Niners. Like, it's not just that they've been kind of all over the place. They literally took some of their best players now that they're eliminated, and they put them on IR. They're putting them on the shelf. Like, the O-line is going to look entirely different. We literally have no idea what the Niners are going to look like. They're just like, hey, let's see what you guys can do. Let's get a good read on people. We're going to see a totally different offensive line. That scares me for Garindo. So I would go Thielen in that case also. And who did you say, Shakir or McMillan?
Shakir. I do like McMillan, but not more than Shakir.
Okay. All right. Leslie, Adam Thielen or Debo? Oh, I did not think we were going to get Thielen's been in like every question. Thielen or Debo?
Yeah, I'm going to go Debo here.
Really?
Last week gave me a little bit more faith in him, where he was heavily involved in the offense. I'd go with Debo there.
I can't. No. I'm going Thielen. I feel like Debo, yes, last week, but I don't want to overreact to last week. If this was somebody who wasn't a big name and they had one big week and they had consistently not been a part of the offense, I think that we would be a little bit more wary to pivot. And he has consistently not been a part of the offense. That might totally change, but it also might not. Maybe they're like, why would we involve him heavily when we have nothing to gain and he could get hurt or whatever? Like, it's just as likely he sits on the sideline and rotates in, I guess the same is true for Thielen because the Panthers are out too. This week is weird because teams are starting to pull people. We don't play into week 18 for that purpose, and it's kind of crept into week 17. Christy's looking for upside. She has Goff, St. Brown, and Laporta. and she's wondering if she should flex Jameson Williams or Spears.
I'd flex Spears. I know JMO's been pretty good. The matchup on paper is not great. The Niners are pretty tough on perimeter receivers. With that being said, I also don't want to start 4 Lions, but I'd rather have Spears.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
I think you have more faith in. I might have a block on like all things Titans because I don't think
They're playing the Jags.
Anybody
though.
else that I would normally start. I mean, I get it, but I don't know that they can. Normally good offense beats good defense. Does bad offense beat bad defense? I don't know. I don't know how that goes. It's gonna be May. Good morning to you also. I have a kicker and a defense question. McManus in a dome versus Aubrey in the rain. Ooh, gosh, that's a tough one. I don't know that I could go away from Aubrey personally.
Yeah, no, Aubrey's still been good regardless of who the quarterback's been. So I'm gonna go with Aubrey.
He's talking about the rain.
Yeah. No. Right. I mean, but he's been good regardless of, who the quarterback's been. Dak, he's still putting up good numbers even with Cooper Rush leading the offense. They're still getting him into positions where, and this guy can kick the ball from anywhere. So,
okay, but you're not concerned about weather impacting that because that's what his question.
No, because when I saw them go to Philadelphia earlier today, it was definitely a little wet. Whether or not that's going to continue throughout the day, I'm not sure. I'm not a meteorologist. I don't play one on television. If you are concerned about the rain, then yeah, I'd go McManus, but to me, I'd probably go Brandon Aubrey. Then you've got Cowboys versus Eagles or Dolphins versus Browns. It's Dolphins for me.
Yes. Yeah, I wouldn't start anybody against the Eagles offense on purpose.
No, the Cowboys is a good play. Kenny Pickett's not playing. I just think the Eagles are going to give Saquon Barkley the ball 30 times and try to get him to 2,000 rushing yards. Because if they don't want to, if they don't have to play him next week, they're not going to want to. So, and then we know the Cowboys, although they've been better against running backs lately, still not great.
Yeah, I still would not start a defense against the Eagles, regardless of Kenny Pickett being the starter. The Tootsie Pop is our friend Rachel. Hello. She's looking for Bucky, Rico, or Brees.
Bucky and Brees for me. What are your fantasy New Year's resolutions? Oh my God.
Wait. Backing up. Which order? Because she didn't say
Bucky,
two.
Brees, Rico. In that order. Okay. So Bucky would be the best start out of the trio.
I would go
my
Bucky.
Fantasy New Year's resolutions. I will say this. I haven't thought about this, but off the top of my head, I did this last year or this year. And I won't do it again. I ignored running backs, and running backs were way better this year than wide receivers in a lot of respects. In fact, a lot of wide receivers got hurt this year and really hurt us. And I mean, there were some certainly that got hurt at running back too, but if you listed all the wide receivers who missed time this year, it's a lot. It is a lot. And would you rather have had Saquon, say, for example, than Tyreek Hill? Hell yeah. Tyreek Hill got drafted ahead of Saquon all day long. So I am not going to ignore running backs as much as I did this year in drafts.
Yeah. This is going to be a conversation that we'll have this coming week on the pod because championships will be done. And then we'll be having these like revisit the draft and strategy and like what did we learn and how do we use this information that we gleaned from this season? What do we take into next season? And that'll be a very interesting one to go back and see. I'm not 100% sure the people at the top that the wide receivers didn't pay off at the exact same rate as the running backs. And would you have chosen the right running back? Because Brees Hall was in the first round. A lot of people chose him. You just have to choose the right ones. And I think we got the right ones wrong to a degree in the case of relatively Derrick Henry, Saquon, Josh Jacobs, right? Like those three guys kind of snuck up on us a little bit. Rachel, I don't do resolutions. I'm not introspective in that way.
That's because she's already perfect. She's already perfect. So
no, it's that I know myself well enough to not promise myself I'm going to do something that I'm not actually going to do. We'll continue to have those kinds of conversations all year long, as opposed to one thing that just makes me feel guilty. Like I need more guilt. Tay is looking to start Lamb. Lamb and Kamara are both hurt. So we're looking to start either Shakir, Debo, or Tracy. And I'm guessing are we looking for two? Let's prioritize in order. 1, 2.
Tracy, Debo, Shakir. I like the matchup for Tracy. The Colts are bad against running backs.
I can't put that much faith in the Giants offense to put a running back.
Tracy's been good though. Tracy's been good
last week.
Look at his numbers.
I mean, I know
he was really good. He had 16 points.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That's
You know
just
what? He
he had
did
that
put up a
catch in
good
the end
number,
zone.
and I had it in
Yeah.
my head that it was bad because it was an either or situation where I was looking to beat you, and that was
Mhm.
the anyway. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on. Jennings or Neighbors?
Yeah, I'm sticking with Neighbors.
Me
Sticking
too.
with Neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm assuming that's Juwan Jennings. There's no other Jennings, right? Yeah, I can't do the Niners this week.
Mhm.
They freak me out. There's so much volatility attached, and it might be good. It might be good, but like I have no idea what it's gonna look like,
Yeah.
and that scares me.
Mhm.
Abdullah, that's a good question. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
probably are trying to
So
figure out where he fits in.
I play him over Blackshear or the Carolina backs. If you lost Pony Pollard, for example, and you're thin, I could see playing him as a flex this week. The matchup's really good against New Orleans. They're just not good. Now, Madison got more touches last week, but Abdullah still put up pretty good totals. So
Yeah.
I'll say this: I don't hate it. I don't hate it. If I have to start Amir Abdullah in a flex, considering the situation that we are all seem to be in right now with just injuries everywhere. I don't hate it. You could be in a worse situation. Maybe not much worse, but
I
you could be in a worse
I
situation.
know. 100%. I am
Yeah.
in a situation where I am starting him. In a league where I also started, wait for it, James Conner. Am I losing this league?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going to lose that league. But
oh man.
whatever. That was my best option. I think a lot of us are
Yeah.
in that boat.
Yeah.
Saul, 1 point PPR, Neighbors, Ford, or Downs. Go with those
Woo.
first.
Now it's between Ford and Neighbors for me. I'm gonna stick with Neighbors.
Okay. I like Ford though. I mean,
I do too.
those
I
are
do
good
too.
options. If you had, I would feel okay playing either of those. Um, Downs actually becomes more interesting since
Yeah, with Joey Flacco. Oh, did we lose Lindsay?
there you go.
Oh, there
Did,
she is.
I was just gonna say, did we go away to just me or everybody? Okay,
Yeah.
Madison. We're picking three: Madison, Reed, Romeo Doubs, Thielen, McMillan. One interesting note, I think. So Christian Watson, it
Is not
looks
gonna
like he's
play.
going to be inactive, and in the games where he has not played, Reed has had at least 83 yards.
Yeah.
So
So the
uh,
trio for me is Madison, Reed, and Thielen. I like Madison against the Saints more than I would
oof,
like McMillan against Carolina.
okay, I'm not touching Madison. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go McMillan, Thielen, Reed. Those are my three
Okay.
in the order that I would like them. So we disagree about that. Griffin 31, good morning to you also. 3 out of 3. What does this mean? 3 out of
Three
3.
most decisions made for me already with the spread of the schedule. Okay, so
I'm
PPR
guessing that
Spears,
you're in
Ford,
the
and
Super Bowl
HN.
in 3 leagues. 3
Right,
out of your
right,
3
right,
leagues. That's
right,
what you're
right. Yeah.
referencing there. Okay, so you're in the championship. PPR
So well
Spears,
done.
Ford, or HN.
Uh it's between HN and Spears for me. I still have HN
No,
ranked ahead of Spears.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Can't do what?
I just like you, no Tua and Waddle worries
So
me.
you're gonna play Spears over HN.
Well, I would play Ford actually is where I was looking to go.
Mhm.
And as he points out here, Fabs coming with the knowledge.
Yep.
Last time Tua was out, HN scored 8, 5, 2, 10. I think that's what we're in line for today, and I think that that's a massive bummer because a lot of people are going to go. HN's the guy that got me here. HN has been so
Mhm.
good in the passing game. And there's no reason why when Snoop Huntley becomes the quarterback, that should go away. Like we're talking about like dump downs to a running back. Like anyone should be able to do that. And yet, for whatever reason, when Tua's not the quarterback, those go away in this offense. And they shouldn't. So they might not today, but they have. And they have consistently in the past. So I don't feel comfortable playing HN. And that sucks. That is a terrible, terrible place to be in your fantasy championship because there's entirely possible that he comes out and scores 20 plus points because that's what logically makes sense, should happen. But we now have a sample size that's small, but it's greater than we'd like it to be, that's not what's going to happen. So I would go Ford and Spears. I can't believe I'm freaking saying that.
Well, it looks like, do we need 2
here.
or 1? I don't know if we need 2. Is there,
I
think it seems like
go
just,
1.
Yeah, I'm still going HN. I'm going to stick to my guns.
Okay. I would go Ford. Tori. This is, God, you guys, like, what is it that I feel like I'm like reading different languages here? What does that say?
Well,
26?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Chase Brown, James Conner let Tori down. So looks like we need 2 from Neighbors, Josh Downs, Devontae Smith.
Brian
Neighbors
Thomas
and
Jr.
the 2 rookies, Neighbors and BTJ for me. Yeah, I don't know what that stuff means either. If
you know what I bet it is? I bet you there was an emoji. I bet you there's an emoji there, and it doesn't know how to read that. So you're going Brian Thomas. You're going Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. over Devontae Smith.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Christopher Soriano, speaking of mid and aura and all of your weird words that you love so much, here he is. HN or Spears?
Yeah, I have HN ranked like a spot ahead of Spears. So listen, Christopher, I would say this. If you're freaked out about HN, I 100% could understand benching him this week. So I also would look at what your opponent's done or hasn't done so far and maybe make a decision there. Rodgers and Bryce Young. Wow. I mean, that's brutal. Number one, I don't know how you got to the finals with either one of those guys, unless we're talking about a second quarter and a quarterback in a super flex league. But I actually have Aaron Rodgers ranked 1 spot ahead of Bryce Young.
I feel like I'm being argumentative, and I'm not. I would go with Bryce Young. This isn't to be argumentative. It's just I want to tell you what I would do. And
the weather's definitely better in Tampa Bay, that's for sure.
And I want to back up because you said, like, what did your opponent do and where do you stand? How does that impact your ability, your decision-making process with HN or Spears? Like, let's say you're down. What?
Yeah, I would say Spears probably has the higher ceiling because of the situation that HN finds himself in. But if you are in a situation where you're ahead and your opponent maybe had some bad games from like Joe Mixon, et cetera, players like that, I would stick with the guy you've been riding all year, and that's HN.
Okay. Next up, thank you very much, Christopher, is Anthony. Got Connered last night. Same. Welcome to this fun party where we're all sad. Can't afford to get Garindoed, and you might get Garindoed. So Garindo or Madison, half point PPR. Holy hell. Oh, or we have other options. Timeout, we have other options. Or I could go Tyreek, Reed, Dobbs, or Jameson, and I would do that. One of those, personally.
I would probably go Garindo out of that group. Now, it looks like he's good to go. And at least, that's what we've heard from their practice reports, et cetera, that he's supposed to play. If you are concerned about the injuries, if you're concerned about that, the Lions defense is not that good against the running. They're beat to hell.
Okay.
Josh Jacobs,
you think
wipe them
You think
up.
you're going to be in a run game script?
I don't know.
They're going to be running against the Lions?
I have no idea. The Lions defense has not been great. They're all banged up. So, but I mean, think about it. You're going to go with Tyreek Hill with Huntley starting, Jaden Reed, who you can't trust, Romeo Dobbs, who you can't trust, or Jameson Williams, who's got a bad matchup against the Niners defense, who's really good against the perimeter. To me, it's between Garindo and Jameson, and I'm going to go Garindo.
I would go Jameson. There's our bet.
You are just very argumentative today. That's all.
No, I'm not. I just disagree with you. I'm not arguing with you at all. I'm telling you very nicely the things that I think. Saul, 1 point PPR. I'm guessing. Oh yeah, Chiggy. Oh, this is okay.
Yeah,
so
you know what? And someone asked me
Hawkinson.
Someone asked me this question. There's no way I'm playing Okonkwo over TJ Hawkinson. There's no way. No. I'm sorry. If Okonkwo has another big game and Hawkinson doesn't, I went down on my best players. I'm not trusting Okonkwo after 2 good games.
Same. And by the way, the Vikings need this win. The Vikings could end up with the 1 seed, you guys. The Vikings have the exact same record as the Lions. And this is a game against the Packers. It's going to be a tight one. Like I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't a high scoring affair. I think Hawkinson's involved, and I like him. I like him this week. So I would stick with Hawkinson for all the reasons he said, and then plus the things I said. MJH, every time I see your name on one of these live streams, I think of Marvin Harrison Jr. and have this whole inner monologue about like, oh, it's Marvin Harrison Jr. but flipped. So anyway, need lots of upside, as everyone who has ever played Marvin Harrison Jr. also does. Wide receiver.
But he had a good game.
Okay, who cares? No one played him. Like, I hope, because there's no way you got here if you would just continue to ride with optimism Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay, now I'm angry at Connor.
He was started in 70% of leagues on Sleeper, so he got started.
So people just stopped paying attention. And actually, you know what I wonder? I wonder how many that's tracking. Like, people who are out, their lineups still count.
Yeah, it's true. Sleeper's pretty good though. I mean, but
I mean, are they like, hey, I'm only counting who's getting started in championship rounds? Because we've been citing start rates, and actually that's usually for people who aren't started. And I think that probably is a more valid stat. But yeah, I wouldn't trust that. Anywho, we're thinking Christian Watson or Wicks. Wait, what? Because I think Christian Watson is out.
Watson is out, so obviously Wicks is the call there. Pierce. Alec Pierce, he's hurt. And then we're looking at, it looks like that would be Cavante, Turpin, or Jalen Tolbert. And have we seen, because I know Tolbert was hurt. So I'm not sure. I'm going to look that up right now. Because
dude, where are they going to go? The Cowboys with no CD.
Brandon Cooks, I guess. I don't know. But that's what I'm looking for right now. Did the Cowboys not post their inactives on their X page? I got to take a look at that, kids. So we're gonna have to get back to you on that one, because I got to make sure that Tolbert is active or inactive before I give you anything. So
all right, Sharon with her Yingling, thank you for being with us all season long. We love you also. She's looking to start Ferguson or Okonkwo.
Che. Yeah. And Tolbert is active. I just looked at the Cowboys PR page.
So is Tolbert your answer?
So I would go Tolbert over Cavante, yes.
Okay, because it's funny that after we ask the question about what are they going to do offensively in the passing game, a Ferguson question comes up.
Yeah, I know, and you would think more targets from Cooper Rush because no CeeDee Lamb. I totally understand that. But Ferguson hasn't been great with Cooper Rush under center. I'd rather go Okonkwo here. It's close. White or Garendo? I'm probably going to go Garendo there.
I don't know what to do with your
it's not mine.
About Jeff Darlington.
Jeff Darlington said it. Yeah, I mean, he said that Bucky's going to get a lot of touches today. So I'm going to go Garendo there.
Okay. I'm trying to look for more Rachaad White news, because it's interesting to say the least, because Tampa does need a win. It's not like Tampa is in a position where they're just throwing things away and trying weird stuff. Like, they're going to try to win this game. I don't know if it makes sense that the roles are totally different than we've seen in the past. Richard has a standard league and is looking for a tight end, Fabs. Jonnu or Laporta?
Yeah, I got to go Laporta because of the quarterback situation with Miami.
Okay. Yep. And Brian Thomas Jr. or Spears?
Yeah, I got to BTJ has been the hottest wide receiver in fantasy football. I've got to stick with him.
Yep. Excuse me. Thank you very much. We're wishing you positive aura as well, Chris.
Listen. I've been telling you guys, it's like the worst year for me. I had the worst luck. It just, I'm still alive in a few leagues, but oh my God, not good. Chris, Happy New Year. Almost to you too, pal.
Trey McBride wrecked Chris last night. You didn't like that bounce off the head at the end. So no, that wasn't good. I think that was more of a Kyler problem. But anyway, one flex in the PPR. We're worried about Jonnu with Huntley, as are we. We're worried about Shakir with not too much to play for. Worried about Jerome Ford because it's the Browns. So is Josh Downs to play.
I mean,
so essentially is it Shakir or Ford or Downs?
Yeah, it's Ford and Downs for me.
Which of the two?
Ford and then Downs in that order.
I would go with Ford as well. God, do we think that the Bills are not gonna? Are they not going to keep them in? I'm trying to figure out whether or not we need to be worried about that. Jay, Chig over Jonnu? Yes.
This hurts. This hurts. It hurts.
I don't understand why. Like, here's the deal.
So good.
Okay.
For so
but after
long.
after two games of being so good with Jonnu, you were all in on Jonnu. All in. Like, over good tight ends. Yeah, Jonnu, look what he's done.
It was more than just 2 games.
Chig has been... No, at 2 games, that's exactly the time. That's when you pivoted to him. And then Chig has had 2 good games, and we're less enthused about it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's entirely accurate, 2 games, but he also has a way better quarterback and then a better offense. So
I think he had 2 games. And then he had 2 good games, right? And then the game where he had 0 and then had scored 13 in overtime.
I'd go with Chig, but what I'm saying is that it sucks that Jonnu's been so awesome and now like we can't start him with any confidence.
Yes, it's Chig. Yep. Thank you very much, Jay. We'll see what's next. Okay, we're going back to it's gonna be May. Do you think that Green Bay might pull Josh Jacobs early?
I think you're overanalyzing. No. There's no way I'm not playing Josh Jacobs.
No, they're playing the Vikings. It's no.
Yeah.
They're not going to not try to win this game. Regardless of whether their seed can change dramatically, the Vikings seed can change, and the Packers want to impact how it all looks and what happens in their division, and also go into the postseason with some sort of that's not a game that you throw. So I would feel totally fine starting Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for being here. As always, Robert wants to start Devontae Adams or Adam Thielen. For me, this is Adams.
Adams over Adam. I had to. That's low-hanging fruit.
Okay. Like he said. John, Drake London or Jalen McMillan?
I'm going to stick with Drake. I know that the weather outside might be frightful tonight. I just hate making decisions on guys. Like, one player's potentially going to be in a rain game and the other one's not going to be, because, you never know what the weather is going to be like from, it's 12:30 on the East Coast. I mean, that game doesn't start for, 7+ hours. I'm going to stick with Drake London. I
don't think that what we saw from Michael Penix in a 1-game sample size against a bad defense was anything that really concerns me about London. I don't think that London becomes non-playable because he has a new quarterback. I thought Penix looked good. Penix was perfect to the middle of the field. Not a single incomplete pass to the middle of the field.
How many fantasy points you scored last week?
Penix? Yeah. No, I mean, he scored 6 points. That's why the conversation is not start Michael Penix or not. It's what it means for the rest of the offense. And I think that Darnell Mooney gets a bump, not from where he was early in the season, but where he was prior to Penix taking over. We saw him targeted a lot downfield. Penix was good downfield. I feel okay starting London over McMillan. Absolutely. Next up is Dan, who's looking to start either Ertz or Chig.
Oh, nice job, by the way, with Laddie Daddy, who has been now one of the guys that I hit on. I missed on Marvin Harrison Jr. Among rookie wide receivers, but I nailed Laddie Daddy. Chig over Ertz.
Chig over Ertz. Yeah, same for me also. Hey, by the way, Ertz getting in a fight with Sirianni? Like, what? So weird.
There's a lot of did you see that thing in the paper about how and
the
I don't know if
it's
it's
1990
Inquirer or anything like that. They still have newspapers, all right?
I know.
But it said something about is this a must-win game for Sirianni? ? And the guy's winning the division and maybe is one of the favorites in the NFC. And this is,
I know, but people hate him.
If he loses, I know, if he loses to the Cowboys, that's what I'm just saying. People hate his guts apparently, and getting into a fight with Zach Ertz doesn't seem like a surprise. Zach Ertz is a really nice guy. Sirianni
Yeah,
obviously
that
has
doesn't
a
feel like an
reputation.
endearing move, right?
No,
Like,
no,
hey, let's go
doesn't.
fight with one of our guys from our Super Bowl run. Like, what? No.
Yeah, yeah.
Carl, do you think that the Bills will pull Cook in the second half?
I'm not playing that game. I'm starting Cook. I'm not playing that game. Listen,
Yeah.
I mean, if they kill the Jets, then anything's possible. But I'm playing Cook.
Me too. I don't think that they want to like start pulling people. If they don't play people next week, that's a different story. But I don't think you want to go like a game off and a half off. I don't think you want to be off the field for too long. So I am with you, Fabs. I wouldn't play that game today. Might happen, but that could happen pretty much across the board. And I'm not counting on it happening. McMillan, Adams, Hill, Myers, McLaurin, picking 3 of these for a PPR league.
I'm sitting McMillan and I'm sitting Tyreek out of that group.
McMillan and Tyreek. And so you're going with McLaurin, Adams, Myers.
Yes.
Okay. I don't hate that. I could do that. Tyreek. Sitting Tyreek. You guys. I mean, we've had practice doing it this year, so at least that's not new.
Nothing.
But
not for nothing. Tyreek Hill has not been a good fantasy wide receiver this year. So
I know, but I'm just saying, like, now you're in the championship
crazy.
and we're sitting Tyreek on purpose for Jacoby Myers. Jonathan Long. I've run with the Vikings D all season, but it's a tough matchup this week. I'm in that exact same boat and I did not pull them. And it might be a bad call, but they're such a good fantasy defense and it's not a good matchup. But I'm just gonna in my case, Jonathan, I'm going with the guy that got me here. Would you do that, Fabs, or would you replace them with the Packers? I definitely wouldn't replace them with the Packers because it's just as bad a matchup and they haven't been as good. Or the Saints or the Raiders or the Browns.
I would probably, believe it or not, I'd probably play the Raiders against New Orleans. New Orleans their offense is awful. And I know that Max Crosby's, out and all this kind of thing, but listen, the Vikings defense has been the best defense of fantasy football. This is the only position, well, maybe kicker, where you're thinking about sitting the best player in air quotes at a position.
Yeah.
So playing the Raiders over them comes with risk. Just to let you know that. So again,
might come with more upside though.
Right, exactly. It might come
because I don't see the Vikings putting up 20.
So if you're looking for a defense to have a really high ceiling because maybe you're behind, then maybe you go with the Raiders. Otherwise, I'd probably stick with the Vikes.
I agree with everything you just said. Yep. Thank you very much, Jonathan, and just know that we're in this together. Well, if you go with the Vikings, if you go with the Raiders, we're not. But
What's up,
I'll
Ray?
be rooting for you either way. Ray, last question. Going to the championship or playing in the championship, Tyron Tracy or Tajee Spears?
Spears. I like Spears today. I do.
Where do you have him ranked? Because he's been your answer for a lot of different questions, and I kind of feel like I need a number range.
I want you to guess where I have him ranked.
I'm going to guess that you have him around 16.
15. Very close.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Yep. 15.
That was pretty nails.
I have him.
Nails.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I have him at 15.
Okay.
Yep. I dropped Achane. I dropped Achane to 13, and I moved Bucky up to 6 this week. So just FYI.
Daniela, Brees Hall, Spears, or Ford. Like cut paste. I mean, this question.
Spears is in. I think Brees Hall is also in. It's close between Hall and Ford, but Hall saw all the touches last week and played more of a regular snap count than he had in the previous couple of weeks. The Bills are not good against the run, so I'm going to go Brees Hall.
Okay. I'm going Ford.
Okay.
Over Brees.
You're a lot of Ford. You're in a Ford. Yeah.
I mean, Ford was good.
Ford's been good. Let's hope he is again. I hope he is. I like him this week too, but I like Spears. I like Spears and Hall better.
I don't know that this situation. I mean, they did have the Bengals last week who couldn't tackle, right? So that was sort of baked into everything that we were looking at. And it's entirely possible it just doesn't go that way again. and that we're remembering a very specifically good outing. But 11 for 92 and a touchdown on the ground, and then 5 catches for 39 yards on 5 targets,
I know,
24
but
fantasy points.
I know that who cares? It was last week. I mean, it's a totally different scenario.
Okay.
That's just what I'm saying. I mean, that doesn't mean he's gonna have a good. I like him. I happen to like those other 2 running backs more.
Okay. What is the faith in Spears? Just that is going up against the Jaguars matchup?
No Pollard has been great 2 straight weeks, and Jaguars. Like, everything says Spears will have a good game today. Will he? Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Fantasy's been weird. He might not. But you're looking at the percentages and looking at the stats, looking at the situation, and it all is it's peachy keen for Spears today.
All right. Breece Hall, Tajay Spears, or Garendo?
Garendo's out.
Okay. Buddy from YouTube is looking to start one of these in a half-point PPR league. It's Josh Downs, McMillan, or Debo.
Debo.
Well, I hate that we're disagreeing so much today, but I guess we're getting a lot of the same questions and we view them differently. I would go McMillan against the Panthers.
Okay. I'm right. I got to write these down.
I guess, right? I don't even know how you could start now. Like,
it's everybody.
We've disagreed about everybody. Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate you being with us. Steele has a quick question. 2 players to start. Which ones? Thielen, Coker, Liggett, or Amon-Ra? What?
Yeah, I mean, Amon-Ra's, locked and loaded. Thielen's is 2.
Yes. Yep. That's where I would go also. Whew. By the way, my son pulled a 1-of-1 Liggett autograph card with like the jersey cutout. We do big baseball cards on Christmas. Like, it's a day pulling baseball cards, but a 1-of-1 for a rookie with a jersey cutout. Like,
you guys should have celebrated by eating raccoon.
Now we're a Liggett household, and we will be rooting for him to be very, very good. So the value of that goes up. I feel like we've answered this one before, but we'll try it again. Daniela, Breece, Spears, or Ford? Looking for 2.
Yeah, Breece and Spears for me.
Okay. Joe is
so much Spears
or Ford. This is Jacobs.
Jacobs, yes. And it's in that order for me. Jacobs, Spears, Ford.
There you go. Always good to add a little bit of context like that in case he's still stuck. Thank you very much, Joe. Appreciate you. Where should we go next? Doug, the Martian, McMillan, or Judy?
Yeah, McMillan all day long. I don't
there
want
we
Judy.
Go. Now we're talking. Garendo or Etienne?
Garendo or Etienne. Dude, I'm going Garendo. I don't even know who the hell the lead back of the Jaguars is going to be on a week-to-week basis. At least I know Garendo's going to get the touches.
Yep, same. We found the scenario. We found the scenario where I feel comfortable starting Garendo. Thank you very much. Art, John Russo, London or McMillan. We already did this when it was London.
Yeah, London. Yeah.
So next up's Kenny, Raiders defense, a logical play in my championship matchup. Fab's already said he likes that one, or pick up the Browns or use Washington. Would you like the Browns or Washington better?
I will say this: Washington intrigues me, especially if the weather's crappy. If you're in a league where you get, rewarded points for lesser points scored, lesser yardage accumulated, I'm going to go Raiders though.
Yeah. I don't, like I said, Penix didn't score a lot of fantasy points, but he played well last week. So I'm not looking for, and Penix's only interception wasn't his fault. It was Kyle Pitts. So it's possible Kyle Pitts laterals again to a Commander's defender, but I don't know if I'm expecting a whole bunch of turnovers. Mauricio, is it crazy to start McMillan over Tyreek? No, it's not. And then Madison over Dowdle. Fabs, I will let you weigh in.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Dowdle here. I'm going to stick with Rico.
Me too. What about McMillan over Tyreek?
It's not crazy to do that at all.
Okay. Would you do it?
No, but it's not crazy to do it.
That was a very long way of getting there.
I'm just saying, I still have Tyreek ranked ahead of McMillan, even though I have Tyreek. Let me take a look real quick. I have Tyreek ranked real. Like, this is one of the lowest ranks I've had
Low
for
for
him
him.
this season.
Yeah.
He's at 33 and McMillan's at 37.
Okay. Debbie, which defense? Miami or
Debbie.
Philly?
Miami.
Miami against the Browns. Philly is placing the Cowboys. Cooper Rush has been weirdly good. I agree with that assessment.
Spend all that money on deck. Yeah.
Happy New Year to you also, Debbie. Tech Gamer BB. Jennings or Jalen McMillan this week? I'm going
Jennings.
with
That's
Jalen.
another one. You just have a thing for Jalen McMillan. You love him, man. I mean,
Jalen McMillan has been good. Jalen McMillan
has been good.
Is in an offense that I expect to be good with Baker throwing the ball in a game they must win. Like, there are a bunch of different reasons that I would prefer the Bucs wide receiver in this scenario than the Niners. I would go Jalen. Debbie also lost Connor. No.
Yeah.
This is a club I don't want to be in with you, Debbie, but we're
did
here
you do
together.
The Italian?
Nope.
You did this?
No, I was doing like a this.
No, you did not. This was it. You did the Tommy Cullins thing. You did.
I wasn't.
You did.
I wasn't. Wide receiver 2, Mooney or Jennings or Thielen.
Jennings.
He needs the most points. We need a blow-up game.
Jennings.
What, Jennings? No.
Why not? Do you know what the total of that game is tomorrow night? It's the highest total of the whole week, the whole slate, 50.5. What's wrong with Jennings? He said because he had, a bad game or two. Now all of a sudden he's choto.
What are you doing?
I just swore in Spanish. That's all.
Trying something out there. Did your heart start racing before you said
my
it?
Neighbor,
I'm going to do something crazy here.
My neighbor speaks Spanish, and I got some good swear words out of him. So yeah.
Oh my God, Benji, Chuba going on IR killed you and a lot of us. Do I start Blackshear or Ty Johnson in his place? Oh fudge,
Benji. I mean, honestly, dude, like. Ty Johnson, I mean, you never know how many touches he's going to get every week. I don't know what's going to happen with Black. Like, I would literally put
we don't know that about Blackshear.
Like, in a hat and like pick it out.
Here's the thing about Ty.
I have Blackshear ranked ahead of Ty Johnson. That's all I can tell you. I don't expect much from either.
Let's talk it through for 5 more seconds, okay? The thing about Ty Johnson, what are the questions that we've had about the Bills? Oh, should I trust Cook? Or are they going to pull him at halftime? So, like, to a degree, if they do pull him, guess who gets the ball? It's Ty Johnson. And Ty Johnson's already involved, even when Cook is there, to the degree where, like, not last week when I played him and he scored 5 points, but the 2 weeks prior to that, we're looking at like 20 points from Ty Johnson. We don't know if Blackshear is going to be the guy. Is he going to get the volume? Is it going to be a combination in the backfield? I think I'm going with Ty. I think we're going with Ty because it looks also like the talent is like he's very good in the last month.
Also remember. Ty Johnson had that big game. He had a long touchdown catch, which is a complete outlier and is not going to happen again. So I'm going Blackshear.
Why would a long touchdown catch not happen again against the Jets?
He had 114 yards in one game. He hadn't had 114 yards in every other game combined. Like, not even close.
No, I'm not saying we're counting on that happening, but Blackshear hasn't done anything and hasn't had an opportunity to do anything. He's been a returner.
No, I'm going Blackshear.
Okay, I'm going Ty. Write it down. That one I actually do want to track because I think I'm right. James, would you start Kincaid over Jonnu?
Oh, it hurts me every time I have to go against Jonnu. But I just did this. Watch Tua like be like an active and like today. Oh, he's gonna play. You son of a biscuit.
They can't do that. They can't say doubtful and then go active.
No, I think they can. I think we've seen doubtful players. I think Max Crosby was doubtful earlier in the year and he played. It's rare though. Yeah, I guess I got to go Kincaid.
Freak out. And also, there's the Dolphins are bye. Like, there's no reason to play.
No, they still have a chance to make the playoffs. It's really slim, but they still have a chance.
Are they one of the 3 in the AFC?
Because the Bengals got beat. Because
Colts,
the Bengals won
Dolphins,
last night. The
and Bengals.
Beat, yeah.
Well, okay.
Yep.
They're not.
All right. So
games back, but that does change things. You're correct.
HN without Tua or Garrett Wilson in bad weather. My God in heaven. Garrett Wilson is not getting the football at all lately. I'm sticking with Tua. I'm sticking with HN, excuse me. Dowdle or Spears? Hey, Frankie, what's up? Vaccarelli. Now, right there. This right here. Rhodes, right here.
Do you
Today
know
is
Frankie,
gonna make
or do
sauce.
you just are
Yes,
you just
yes, I
like
know Frankie from the yes, I know Frank. Do you play in our fantasy dirt league, Frankie?
okay? Okay, so that's
Um,
that Frankie. I just didn't know you the way you
so
said it. It's entirely possible that you're
Spears.
like that's an Italian name and
He's an
hello.
Italian. Give him Spears. I give him a Spears. Oh, the Funk Man.
Oh my god.
Yes, I love the Funk Man. I'm gonna go Malik and Adam Thielen. Now I'm just going against McMillan just to piss Lindsay off.
Okay.
Malik and Adam Thielen for me.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I am on team McMillan, and Jalen needs to outscore everyone. Jalen
I guess
McMillan,
so.
wide receiver 1. That is now my investment. I actually
Oh
need
my
that in
gosh.
one of the leagues where that would make up for my Cooper Cup and James Conner day yesterday.
Yeah.
Tanker Etienne.
Uh, honestly, I'll say Etienne. I have no idea. Like every week, like they've alternated. 1 week it's Etienne, and 1 week it's Bigsby. And why Doug Peterson doesn't love our fantasy teams? Obviously, he's trying to get at us before his last couple of days as an employee for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm gonna go Etienne.
Literally
it's a total guess. It's a total
just
guess.
punching the clock.
Yeah,
what's happening there?
Yeah.
Frankie again, Dowdle or Spears. Okay,
Yeah,
so this
Spears.
is just Frankie who went to a different
Spears.
platform to make sure his question got in, which
Spears,
we
yeah.
appreciate.
Yeah.
All right, and then Group Shower. That's an interesting name. Okay,
Tyreek.
Coker or Tyreek?
Group Shower. Tyreek.
Yeah, I could. Okay, Jay, Colts or Bucks? Defense.
Colts.
Okay,
but the Bucks are a good play, but the Colts are better.
Yeah, I don't know if the Bucks are that good. I mean, the Panthers have been pretty good in the last few weeks. Like I told somebody to play Bryce earlier.
The best player is not playing, so
in a very specific either. Or I'm playing Bryce in one and done over Aaron Rodgers and a few other bad quarterbacks.
Brees or Garrett Wilson. Oh, look at this. A Mets Jets fan. That's so typical. I have so many friends who are Mets Jets. I'm going Brees.
We found the scenario where I would go Brees.
Yeah.
Like between the two people that Aaron Rodgers doesn't like that are very talented on his team, which one would you prefer? Eagles
Dolphins
or
here.
Dolphins.
Dark Dolphins.
Yep.
Defense.
Yep.
Dark
same.
Yeah, there we go. Yep.
Same. Blackshear or Bigsby. I love. We are having like just getting all the grossness out. Like let's figure this out.
I'm gonna go Bigsby.
Same. Wish I didn't start James Conner. Same. Yeah. Need to start one of these. I'm gonna guess that's Brian Robinson, because would we be asking the question about Bijan?
Yeah, I guess it's Brian Robinson. I'd go Tyrone Tracy out of that group.
Out of James Cook? And
Brandon Cooks. That's Brandon Cooks.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, if it's James Cook, obviously it's James Cook, but it says
Cooks.
We
put. I mean, I don't know. We got a question about him.
So if it's James Cook, it's James Cook. If it's Brandon Cooks, it's Tyrone.
You're
Tracy.
giving people a lot of credit to not include an S or include an S when people are spelling names the way that they've been spelling names all season long. Okay, like this isn't a crazy thing. Okay. Anyway, he said Tracy. Half point PPR Hill or McMillan.
I'll let Lindsay take it. Go ahead. It's McMillan. Go ahead.
I don't even need to. I have Mike Evans and need one for my flex. Jalen McMillan or Isaac Garendo.
McMillan. No.
Okay. We have 2 more minutes until your lineup's locked. We might as well just stay here the entire time. So what else do we have?
What do we got? Anything else?
Doug, Ridley or Brees? PPR?
Woo! I'm going to go Brees. Last time, listen, Ridley playing against Jacksonville. I know revenge game thing, but the last time he played him, he was not very good.
Yeah.
Jameson Williams or Ford. Troy, I'm going Jerome Ford.
In PPR. I would go Jameson Williams, H.N. or McMillan. In a flex, I'm going McMillan.
Yeah, I'm going H.N. Neighbors or Thomas? Which Brian Thomas? It's Brian.
It's got to be BTJ.
How could you not play both? Maybe it's guillotine. I don't know.
There are some good wide receivers that I think you could have that would put those guys in the third question. Anyway, thank you very much, Magnetic. Spears or Rico?
Another one for Magnetic.
Okay.
Spears. Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right. Have we reached the end of the line? Are those all the questions? I think it might be. Magnetic wants us to know that weather's a factor in his thought process. And so considering that with Spears
With who?
Spears or
Which one?
Rico, Neighbors or Thomas are the ones that he asked about.
Yeah, regardless of whether those are the two players I'm going, Thomas Jr.
The
and
weather
Spears.
outside is weather. See,
It's
I told
weather.
you every single time, Faz. Okay, guys, there you go. Lineups are locking. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for being with us every single week. And I really hope that you win all your championships. That will make me feel better about the fact that I'm totally going to lose all of mine. Thanks, James Conner and Cooper Kupp. And we'll be back with another edition of Fantasy Dirt tomorrow. We're going to be here Monday, Thursday, and Friday this week, closing out the week.
Kofi Kingston on Thursday, WWE superstar. I told you.
Why are you a heel? There are important questions that I need to ask him. So be sure to join us for that. You guys have a great time today.